The Houston Astros have made the first pretty notable signing. Maybe you want to say Mike Clevenger is. But I'd say this is a legitimately notable signing right here. The Houston Astros have agreed to a deal with Jose Abreu. A 3-year deal is what it sounds like it's going to be. Very, very interesting from a Houston team that has first basemen who are free agents. Trey Mancini, the other trade deadline, he's a free agent. Yuli Gurriel, who's been there for a long time in Houston, he's also a free agent. What does that mean? Well, they're getting Jose Abreu to replace Yuli Gurriel, essentially. What does this mean for Abreu, the Astros, even the White Sox who are now losing Jose Abreu? We're going to cover all that right here on the Bleacher Brawls YouTube channel. So my name is Derek, and let's get straight into it. First things first, Jose Abreu, you're getting a very good offensive player that can hit in the middle of your lineup. And I think that's why the Astros are going for Jose Abreu. There are at times in the World Series where their lineup, especially near the bottom of the lineup, struggled, right? And especially that DH spot. That DH spot was a big story because it struggled. Now, we don't know what the DH spot's going to turn out to be. If Jordan Alvarez play left field every day, maybe they still bring back a Yuli Gurriel and they can DH Jose Abreu. We'll get into that a little bit later, though. But here's the thing with Jose Abreu. He is a bat that can hit in the middle of your lineup, and the Houston Astros see that, and that's why they're getting him. Jose Abreu last year, he hit 306. The home run power was down a little bit, only 15 home runs, but he still had a 133 OPS plus. That's 33% better than league average offensively. Very good year for him. If you want to compare it to his 2021 season, he had a 124 OPS plus. So he had a better offensive year last year in 2022 than he did in 2021. Actually, if you go based on OPS plus, that was one of his better years for Jose Abreu. Actually, right around his career average. His career average OPS plus is 134. So you know what you're gonna get from Jose Abreu. Guy can hit. He can hit for average and power. I would expect some of that home run power to come back, especially in Houston, got the Crawford boxes in left field, and that right field isn't super deep either. Don't be shocked if Jose Abreu comes next year, hits 280 with 25 homers and 100 something RBIs. Do not be surprised if that happens, and that's why the Astros are going out and getting him. He's a bat. I think they'll hit him probably fifth or sixth in that lineup. Because you got to think, you have Altuve and Jeremy Pena 1 and 2, then Jordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and Jose Abreu fifth. That's a very good lineup. Just for your top 5, right? And you also have Kyle Tucker fifth. Maybe you hit Jose Abreu sixth. Maybe Bregman slides down to 6 and Abreu hits 4th. There's so many different options at this Astros. This Astros lineup is going to be really good next year. And Abreu's at first base. They still don't have their DH spot settled or one of their corner outfield spots, depending on where they want to play Jordan Alvarez. They could still go out and get a catcher. We don't know. There have been rumors about the Astros maybe looking at Wilson Contreras at the trade deadline, although that didn't happen. So we don't know though. We have no clue with the Astros what they're going to do. It's very interesting though. This team's going to be very good next year. And Jose Abreu is going to fit massively into that picture. I think Jose Abreu is going to. I think he'll go back to that 100 RBIs season. This season, if you take out the 2020 season because it wasn't a full season, he's played a full season every single year except for 2018. He's literally only played on under 145 games once, and that was 2018. He only played 128. Every game that's played every year's played a full season, he's had 100 RBIs except for 2022. I think that's more of a product of the White Sox team, though. That White Sox team is very underperforming as a whole. I think go somewhere like Houston. He's gonna get some home run pop back from the Crawford boxes. That's a pretty short left field as well. It's not like a super big ballpark, especially with Crawford boxes. It's going to be friendly to Jose Abreu, I think. I think he's going to hit probably 25 home runs next year. Probably might even hit 280, 25 homers, 100 something RBIs, maybe even a little bit higher average. Who knows? But I think he's going to have a very good year next year. Now, defensively, here's where the question starts to come in. Yuli Gurriel is one of the best, if not the best, defensive first baseman in the big leagues. Definitely the best when it comes to scooping balls, stopping bad throws from becoming errors, adding outs at first base because, someone makes a bad throw, Yuli Gurriel is over there, he can make the play, get that out at first base instead of the ball going by him and whatever. Jose Abreu is not a bad defensive first baseman. I'll throw that out. He's not a bad defensive first baseman, but he's not a great defensive first baseman either. He's serviceable at first base. He'll do fine at first base. However, he's not going to be Yuli Gurriel at first base. So there is a little bit of a defensive step down from Gurriel to Abreu, but you're getting a big offensive step up, especially after Gurriel having a down season this past year. And I think that's important to note. Now, could they still go out and bring Gurriel back and maybe have Abreu DH if they want to play Yordan Alvarez in left field every day? Yes, they could do that. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. But this Astros team is looking very, very good right now. Right now, you're looking at your lineup: Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, and then your 4 through 6 is any mix of Bregman, Tucker, and Abreu. That's a very, very good lineup. And even 7, 8, 9 right now, like, you have an empty spot, your catcher, and probably Chas McCormick in center. That's very good, right? So the Astros team is going to be a very good team next year. I know one of the problems in that World Series was the DH spot, so it could be a question of, do they have Yordan DH? Do they still go out and target a left fielder, or someone who can play left field? Do they have a Abreu DH? Try and bring back maybe a Gurriel because of his defense at first. It's going to be very interesting to see which direction this Astros goes. Now, moving on to the White Sox side of things, they're losing Jose Abreu. However, I don't see this being like some massive loss for them in this sense, right? They've been playing Gavin Sheets and Andrew Vaughn kind of in the outfield a lot, or DHing one, playing another. They've been playing a lot of outfield recently, the last year or two. They're not outfielders, they're first basemen. Neither of them are good defensively in the outfield. Neither. They're not good defensively at all in the outfield. But you can stick one of them at first base, right? And that brings up the question of the White Sox do have the guys internally, like a Gavin Sheets or an Andrew Vaughn, where they don't need to go out and get another first baseman. And I think that's I do expect them to do that. I don't, because, you can start looking at them next year. You lose AJ Pollock in the outfield. He's a free agent. You still have Luis Robert. You have Eloy Jimenez, whether DHs plays left field, who knows. Yeah, you have Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets. If hypothetically, you play 3 of them in the outfield and DH one, but probably should DH one, put one at first base, and then put Eloy in left field, and then you got to find a right fielder. That's how I see it for the White Sox. That's how I see it. So no, they don't need a first baseman. I think they just got to get an outfielder. They got to find that outfielder. Who could it be? It's probably going to be someone from the outside, but you never know. Maybe they like some of their internal options as well. We'll see. But I think the White Sox could put one of those guys, put Vaughn or Sheets at first base. I think they could do that. I think that would make total sense. I think that would make total sense to do that. Now, Yuli Gurriel. Now, Yuli Gurriel is in a very precarious situation, especially if the Astros are going to play Jose Abreu at first base. Because now you're starting to look at it like, okay, where does Yuli Gurriel go? We don't know. I think everyone, for the most part, probably assumed Gurriel was just going to return to Houston. I don't know if that happens now. Could it still happen? Yes. Like I said, the Astros still have that DH spot technically open. They want to play Yordan Alvarez in left field every day. So Gurriel could play first, Abreu DHs. You could just do that. However, I don't know if that happens. I don't know where there's really an opening for him. It's very interesting, right? Because you would expect Gurriel to want to go to a team that's going to be good. Start looking at teams around the MLB, and how many good teams don't have a good first baseman? I think that's kind of the question that is going to get brought into question is, where is he going to go? Unless I think Tampa wants to play Yandy Diaz at first, but maybe they take a chance at Yuli Gurriel, especially because they know how good he is defensively. I don't know. There's not going to be a whole bunch of good options for Gurriel on winning teams, right? If the White Sox don't want to move one of those guys to first base, the White Sox could be an option. I mean, is Minnesota an option? Maybe. Although they have been playing Luis Ariz at first, so maybe not. Like, there's not a whole lot of options. Houston's off the board. Seattle's got Ty France. Um, the Angels have Jared Walsh. May Texas has Nathaniel Lowe, although maybe low DHs and whatever, and they get Gurriel to play first. Maybe that could be an option. I'm not sure. You go to the National League, start looking. The Braves have Matt Olson. The Mets have Pete Alonso. The only way I could say that the Mets want to DH Alonso for whatever reason, I don't see it happening. Philly has Reese Hoskins, doesn't make any sense. Miami and Washington just aren't good. St. Louis has Paul Goldschmidt. That's not happening. Milwaukee, I mean, they do have Rowdy Tellez, but maybe the DH. Who knows? Could be an option. But there's also rumors of Milwaukee rebuilding, potentially rebuilding. So I don't know how much that would fit for Gurriel. And I don't see Cubs, Reds, or Pirates happening. And go to the NL West. Dodgers have Freddie Freeman. The Padres could maybe be a fit actually for Yuli Gurriel. That would actually be a very interesting one. So the Padres could potentially be a fit. Maybe the Giants, they do have Brandon Belt, so that doesn't really make sense. And yeah, the Diamondbacks have Christian Walker anyways, and then the Rockies, I don't see happening. There aren't many good options. Probably the best option in terms of winning might be the Padres, but there are not many options there for Jose Abreu. I'm not Jose Abreu, Yuli Gurriel. It's interesting. It's kind of shaking free agency a little bit because you who would have said, "Oh yeah, I'm Jose Abreu's going to the Astros." Like, obviously, like we all knew, like they do have a first base opening. We've known the Astros have first base opening, but I figure most people at least somewhat assumed Yuli Gurriel was just going to return, and he still could, but now they got Jose Abreu, and now it's okay. It's interesting, but we're gonna leave this off right here, though. However, one interesting question I want to ask everyone in the comments: where do you think Yuli Gurriel goes? Does he stay with the Astros? Does he go elsewhere? If you think he goes elsewhere, where does he go? Very interesting. Let us know your thoughts on the signing in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff, and check out all our links in the description. Yeah, we had a big show go up this morning we introduced our pendulum for the Red Sox Yankees rivalry. We're very excited about that. So if you can check that out. And yeah, check out all our stuff, podcast, website, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff in the description. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Derek. You've been watching Bleacher Brawls, and we'll see you next time.